Jack Henry and Associates, called JHA for short, is a financial software development company. There are more than 10 education teams at JHA that support various products and services. These education teams are located in different offices and have different reporting structures and different customer bases. Communication among JHA education teams has not always been easy or even necessary. With the ever-evolving world of learning and development and the heavy influence of technology, the desire to collaborate is not only needed, but now desired. Recently, SWOT interviews with individuals from each education group were conducted. In other words, individuals were asked what they felt their team's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to their success were. Some of the top results that bubbled to the top were not a surprise. JHA educators feel they do a nice job offering a variety of training with different delivery methods to their customers. They also feel that associates have a variety of skills. As far as weaknesses, lack of consistency, communication, transparency, cross-training, and knowledge of tools were at the top. Opportunities included a need for training certifications, a way to better connect, a need to develop JHA educators' skill sets, learn about industry trends, and learn from each other and share best practices. Under threats, we find costs and time. One way we can begin to meet some of these needs and build these capabilities will be through the 2018 JHA Educators Conference held later this year. JHA education teams are passionate about meeting their customers' needs and growing their professional skills. In this 1.5-day face-to-face conference held at JHA's company headquarters in Monette, associates in education roles can network and attend workshops and sessions hosted by JHA experts. Subjects include learning technologies and trends, education design and development, and knowledge sharing and best practices. Conference participants will come away with a better understanding of education at JHA and feel more prepared to implement new learning solutions. The program outcome will be both individual and organizational change and growth. The purpose is to encourage ongoing growth and development of skills of JHA educators, as well as assisting with adapting to change in an evolving role. The purpose is also to assist the organization in achieving desired customer service results. For the planning of this session, we'll be using Caffarella and Daffron's interactive model of program planning. It has 11 components in 5 areas of foundational knowledge that we'll customize for this program. This model has no beginning or end, therefore we'll be able to use the sections as needed throughout the process. It is also not linear. If we need to pivot or backtrack or revisit certain components, we can do that as well. In phase 1 of the planning process, we'll focus on needs assessments and goals and objectives. Now, these are the overall goals and objectives of the program. We'll also have specific learning objectives of each of the learning sessions in the actual conference, which we will get to later in the planning process. So, what is the problem or need? As I stated before, JHA has several education teams that support various lines of business. There is a need for more communication among these teams so that JHA education associates can build relationships and share knowledge and learn from each other. What are the expected results of the conference? JHA education associates want to be informed about what other education teams in the organization are doing so that they can leverage knowledge and share best practices. And I think it's important to note that within our organization, we have experts on almost every learning software. We have experts on animation, voiceovers, graphic design, and web design. We just need to do a better job at learning from each other. JHA education associates want to network and build relationships with other associates in similar roles. And thirdly, JHA education associates want to learn new industry skills and trends so that they can better serve their customers. The better training that JHA education teams provide, the happier our customers are, and that's the bottom line. So what is most important? If we want to make the goals of this conference very simple, they come down to these 2 things: knowledge sharing and relationship building, which aligns nicely with JHA's vision statement. Be an agile environment that looks beyond today and is known for cultivating driven and engaged associates who win together. JJ promotes a culture of being future-thinking and embracing change while simultaneously working and winning as a team. Weaving the culture into the conference goals is important. Being agile and embracing change is what encourages us to choose the pragmatic approach to planning. Using this approach will allow us to make changes as needed. Flexibility when dealing with many different teams, more than 10 to be exact, will be necessary. Also, getting buy-in with that many people and leaders might be difficult, so having meetings to address power issues might also be necessary. We've decided to utilize surveys and voting to make decisions on content. Not everyone's top choice will make it in, but studies show that involving participants is the best way to increase engagement. This approach will allow us to truly collaborate with potential participants and stakeholders. Discerning the context. Who should be invited to the planning sessions? Who are the decision makers? The conference will be hosted by JHA's Learning and Development team. The L&D team is responsible for development of all employees. Employees are internal. Now, this can be a little bit confusing because when I refer to other JHA education teams, those teams are responsible for educating JHA customers. Customers are external. The L&D team will host the conference. However, other members of the organization will be invited to provide feedback, direction, serve as experts, etc. Just because the L&D team provides training to the organization, they are not the only experts on training that work at JHA. Gaining support. The suggestion for the program or the conference was raised by members of education teams at JHA because it is recognized as a developmental opportunity. Approval and support has been given from human resource leaders, the JHA Education Committee, and members of JHA education teams to ensure success of the program. Approval from human resource leaders will be necessary for funding, and it will also be necessary for staff allocation for the 2018 JHA Educators Conference. Buy-in from members of other JHA education teams will be critical for the program's success. We want to make sure that we're involving key members of multiple education teams and also the education committee. The education committee actually includes leaders from all of the education teams at JHA. We want to make sure that we are including them so that they can have a positive influence on the rest of the potential participants. In planning phase 2, we will utilize Office 365 to continue the planning process. A team site and planner page will be developed to encourage collaboration on the planning team. Schedules, resources, files, and tasks can be tracked on the site and in Planner. Microsoft Forms will be used to survey potential participants to get their feedback on learning interests, challenges they may face as JHA educators, and also their availability to present or volunteer at the conference. We will engage the JHA marketing team to assist with branding and communications as well. When we get to planning phase 3, we will start designing instructional plans for the conference. We'll begin developing workshops and learning experiences based on feedback from those surveys from planning phase 2. We will work with the presenters to ensure that sessions have clear and understandable objectives, that they have organized and engaging content, that they use appropriate instructional techniques for the audience, and that they have an instructional plan or guide in place so that the instructor and the learners can stay focused. Once we're further into the design process, we'll also start working on learning transfer and evaluation plans. The next immediate steps are to get a planning session together with other members of the L&D team and start assigning tasks and working through the steps discussed on the prior slides. The planning sites will be built, the surveys sent out, and the data compiled so that outlines of the learning sessions can begin.